Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, aka the Bod Father, and as always, I'm bringing you guys awesome interviews, and it is an honor and privilege to have an independent band on the line with me right now. His name is Shaun Smail. He is the vocalist guitarist as well, of Spiral Crush, and they have released their third album called Electric Life, and these folks are around Brighton, Michigan, close around Detroit, Ypsilanti area. So, like I was telling Shaun previously, I got some folks up there. I got some fam up there. But this is really cool. The drummer is his brother Scott, and plus they got bassist Jimmy Conrad. So, Shaun, how's it going?
It's going great. Thanks for having me on.
Like I said, I'm glad to see you survived the eclipse and you're moving on.
Yeah, we survived it up here. Everybody's still kicking. So, having a beer today and relaxing a little bit.
Suck on that eclipse. So let's talk about this a little bit. How was growing up in Brighton, man? I know it's a little bit close to Detroit, possibly. With everything crazy that goes on there, and being a metal rock fan as a kid, how was the music scene at that time, or was there a big one at that time for you guys to even remotely get out and enjoy this as a kid growing up?
Brighton is located in between, pretty much centrally in between Ann Arbor, Lansing, and Detroit. So we kind of had our pick of like a fairly equal distance between those three cities. And, there's always been a great local scene. I think the world knows, not a local scene, but a great national scene that bands love Detroit. So we've always had our pick of like great bands. And as far as like a local scene, it's always been there, and it's always been pretty spread out. There was never a good dense area that I recall that, would be like one great local scene. But we'd hit up like the Blind Pig in Ann Arbor is a legendary club where you could see national acts rolling through or, great local acts. And then, there was other clubs out in Detroit. And of course, Flint's got the Machine Shop now, which they get all kinds of great acts rolling through there. So we thoroughly enjoyed not only seeing bands, but being able to grow up and then start a band and start playing some of those places.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to give a shout out to a radio station that I absolutely love up in Michigan, and of course I love BODS Mayhem Hour. Don't get me wrong, folks. Silver City Radio, don't scream at me. But you got like your other taste as well. The Riff.
Yes. That's old school. I mean, they've been around a long time.
Yes, sir. They got some great music. They have a lot of great interviews on that show. So you got.
Oh, absolutely. What's
impressed you the most about making a new album, Electric Life? What's caught your eye about it, if anything, man? What stands out to you?
We were excited, first of all, just to get it done. We kind of went through a phase of like writer's block a little bit leading up to the recording and the writing of that album. So first of all, just getting it done was pretty exciting. And then on top of that, I feel like we did grow as musicians and songwriters quite a bit between our second album and our third album, which is Electric Life. So, I don't know, the overall sound quality of it seems better, and the songwriting seems like a bit more mature, a bit more something that we're just a little bit more proud of. So everything sticks out just a little bit better to us than the previous stuff. Not that we didn't like the previous stuff, but I guess this is just the freshest thing that we've done, and, every band says the newest album is their best, but for us, I believe it truly is.
You guys self-produced this album with help from Andy Padlin of Sponge. How was working with him? And you guys have some history with Sponge, correct? Let's talk about that a little bit.
We do, sort of in a roundabout way. Now, Andy originally was a engineer on Sponge's first two albums, and Scott and myself ended up playing in a band with Andy in the early 2000s. Along with Andy, there was also Kyle Neely, and Andy and Kyle are now both the current guitar players of Sponge. And so we've gotten to know Sponge through the years, too, from being a band playing around Detroit and part of the local scene up here. So, first of all, as far as working with Andy, it was very comfortable because we got to know him a few years back, played in a band with him. We're really good friends with him. And so, to start with, just very comfortable. Secondly, as far as him, how am I going to say this? He's just a great idea guy. You know what I mean? He has a ton of ideas, but with like zero ego. So it's not like he has an idea and he expects you to use it, but he'll throw 5 different ideas at you for like one part of one song. A lot of times they're great. Sometimes maybe you don't want to use them, and but there's plenty of choices. And if you don't like any of his ideas, he's like, all right, cool, move on.
Right. When you guys were producing this yourself, do you like this part of being able to do it yourself, or do you want to have a producer to step in and say, hey, let's try this, like Andy did with you guys on this?
I guess there's definitely a benefit to doing it yourself, because you're just doing everything you want to do no matter what.
Right.
But one thing that would be good, we would like to get a producer, a really good, big shot, big time producer that has a good track record would be awesome, because first of all, that would eliminate some of the infighting between the three members of the band. We wouldn't have to argue. We'd have a mediator and a guy that's going to, basically pick the best idea or tell you how it's going to be, or, this or that.
Right.
So, and as far as, I think we would really like to have a producer, just because we've done 3 albums now on our own, with help from Andy, but he's always been like co-producer, and an idea guy, but not really an affirmative, take his direction, his course kind of producer. So yeah, I'd love to do it.
Here's the $1 million question. I know you got a band with your brother. How do you guys work this out to not have a drop down knockout with each other?
Well, first of all, there's been plenty of drop down knockouts with each other. I'm pretty sure one of us gets fired or quits at every rehearsal, to be honest with you. But for some reason, we just come back together and keep on rocking. I've been playing. Scott started playing drums when he was very, very young, and as I was picking up guitar and learning guitar, so we've kind of always played together. We've been in several different bands together through the years, and it's something about it's just very natural, very comfortable, and it's also very fun. And I think it's actually kind of a benefit that you can really fight tooth and nail with somebody about your idea and stuff without really worrying about truly offending them or whatever. I mean, we have serious fights, and 20 minutes after it's over, it's forgotten. We moved on, it gets settled, and we're good to go.
No, Scott, you're not putting in a 20-minute drum solo. You're not the drummer. You're not Zach Wild, the drummer.
He tries to be, I'll tell you that. But come see a live show. Every song ends with a drum solo.
I can see it now. You looking back going, really, dude? What the fuck? Come on. What's going
Nothing
on?
you can do when it's live. I just got to stand there and wait.
Are there any songs off the new album that are standing out more to you than any other, if any, possibly?
I like them all, but I feel like on this album in particular, actually, there's a good handful of them that I feel really, really proud of, and I like a lot. Magnum, to me, is my personal favorite song on the album. It's a lot of fun. A lot of people have enjoyed One Shot and How Can This Be Wrong? And overall, the by far top standout is the title track, Electric Life. That one is actually a little bit different for us. Not a major, hairpin turn in the road different, but it's a little bit different for us, a little bit more pop sensibility to it. And it seems to be the one song that when we play the album for people, everybody likes that song no matter what. Whether, even if, rock and roll is not like their main choice of music, or they've never heard of our band, or it just seems to be the one that really catches people's ear, right from the get-go.
How much growth musically have you seen this band go through since the formation, or has it just been more personal growth for each of you?
I would say, first of all, Scott and I, we've been playing together our whole lives, so we've seen each other go from, our first band, which is just, it would be embarrassing music to have the world hear right now. To go from that to a band of, like, when we made our first album, like with Spiral Crush, that was actually the first album songs where we were like, you know what, these aren't too bad. We sound like a real band. So we saw that, and then we actually had a different bass player at that time. And then Jimmy came in, and he added a whole new life to the band and a whole new energy, and kind of changed their vibe a little bit. And so musical growth, yeah, we actually do play so much and so often, and like even if we don't have gigs or we're having shows that we have to go get ready for, we still just rehearse, jam, play. When we're writing songs for new albums, we do a lot of like cover bar shows locally because it's fun and we just like playing that much. And as far as personal growth, yeah, the best part is through the years learning how to just deal with each other and get along better. I'm getting a little older now, so it's like, things are a little bit easier. We still like to all drink together and have a good laugh, so that helps too.
And plus, you guys are a three-piece. A lot of people more bands are more than that. Would you guys consider adding more members, or do you just like it this way?
To be honest with you, we never set out to have a plan of, like, let's be a three-piece. We've had a couple of guitar players through the years that have played with us from time to time, because technically we did want to have a second guitar player at a minimum, and it just something that kind of, we never really found the right guy that fit and worked out, so we just kept pushing forward as how we are, and it just seemed to be working, and so now I don't think we really worry about it all that much. And to be honest with you, I never intended on being the singer. Like, you know, I was like, we're gonna find a singer, but same deal. Like, we never really found a guy that fit or seemed to be the right guy, the right energy, the right voice, or whatever, and it kind of just went to me by default. So now I'm comfortable with it, and yeah, we're just gonna move forward as we are.
Man, that's usually how things work out. I mean, when I played music in high school, my buddies had a band, and this one guy, I mean, he was big and muscular. He was like, I'm going to sing, and he got up there and just like, and I was like, dude, I'll do it. So I'll do it, yeah. I just grabbed the mic and went for it, and I loved it. I wish I still played, but we don't anymore. But it's just funny how things work out, you know?
It seems to be how it goes. I mean, you can't wait around to put together your perfect vision sometimes. Sometimes it's just like time's passing by, like we got to go play shows and we got to do things if we want to play. So that's kind of how we got the ball rolling.
Now, what do you hope folks take away from this new album, or just when they start to listen to Spiral Crush's music in general? What do you hope that they get from it?
Well, I hope they enjoy it, first of all. And I hope that they hear a band that's, you know, just an honest rock band. I mean, we're just three guys that play our instruments. We write songs. We try to be as honest as we can with the lyrical topics and stuff, and as real about it. You know, I just want people to hear it and enjoy it. Like, I think it's got good energy, good vibe. I hope people put it in. They're like, hey, man, I want to, you know, maybe step on my gas pedal a little bit harder. Maybe I want to, you know, hang out with my buddies and, you know, turn up this radio and have a drink and, you know, shoot some pool and have some laughs and
get a ticket.
Good time music.
And get a ticket. Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Do you guys do anything differently to keep your minds fresh and open to new stuff, to not make it stale?
Yeah, all the time. I mean, we listen to a huge variety of different music, and one thing that we all agree upon is that, like, we're not going to turn down any idea or any song idea that anybody brings in or what we work on. Obviously, none of us like rap or anything like that, so we'll probably never end up doing a rap song. But we're open. I mean, I've always loved bands, you know, that like for example, Van Halen, right? They got songs that kind of lean a little bit towards heavy metal, but then they got songs that's, you know, maybe a little bit more pop sensibility to it or whatever. And in terms of my musical preferences of what I listen to on the radio, I mean, it's everything. I love 80s new wave music as much as I love Metallica and Pantera.
For sure.
So, I mean, all those influences are in there, so we're not afraid from, you know, like, say the Pretenders style of, like, you know, rock. You know, we wouldn't shy away from that.
What about local support? How much local support do you guys get, you know, via the folks and venues and plus radio play, if you get any at all?
We have gotten radio play up here. You know, the Riff, like you mentioned, there's 89X out of Windsor and 101.5 The Banana up in Flint. That station's great to local bands. Not to mention the Machine Shop up in Flint is great to, you know, local independent bands around here. You get to know them a little bit. You get in there and play in front of bands and kind of prove yourself, and then, you know, you'll get a lot of opportunities to open for national acts rolling through town. So we've been allowed to open for, you know, bands like Buck Cherry and Seether and even Jackal and Sebastian Bach and just a great number of bands, and, you know, with a built-in crowd. So, I mean, that's helped us gain a little steam, you know, with our fan base. So, yeah, there's some good, you know, support up here.
That's a good little resume, too.
Oh, yeah. Not to mention, like, a lot of times we open for bands like that. It's like shows we'd like to go see anyway, so we get to open for the show, and then we get to stay for free, have some drinks, and watch some shows that we enjoy.
2 for 1. There you go.
Yeah, it's like a 2 for 1 for sure.
What can fans expect at a show from Spiral Crush who have not got to see you guys live as of yet?
Well, currently, what we are doing is we're going to take a short hiatus here because we are working on material for a new album. We want to have the new album out hopefully by the end of the year, maybe by January. And after that, our goal is to hook up with a new booking agent and then do some touring. So I don't know if we're gonna end up down through Kentucky. We definitely have plans to do like East Coast. I don't know if West Coast right away, but yeah, I'd love to get down into your area and do some live shows.
We got a couple venues down here. Nothing close to, well, kind of close to my area. I cannot, there's a place in Covington, but I cannot think of the house. Something house. I cannot think of the damn name. I'll find it and I'll message you it.
Yeah, please do.
But we have just one or two. I mean, it's not like, as much as I would like it to be closer. We just don't have nothing here in eastern part of Kentucky. Now, if you're a country singer, bluegrass or gospel, well, you can play anywhere you want to here.
Well, every area has their thing, their main genres.
Since it's the digital era that we're in right now, do you guys like this of recording albums and plus social media and getting things out there quicker? Do you guys like this era that we're in right now with this?
Yeah, I'm to be honest with you, my personal preference, I'm an old school guy, man. I like records, I like CDs, I like physical copies of things. I like to be able to look at liner notes and look at pictures and, read the song titles, and there was just something special about years ago when you would get an album and like you weren't just enjoying and downloading and streaming like a couple of your favorite songs by some band that you found. Like you liked the song, you got the album, you got to know 10 songs by that band. But as far as the era that we're in now, I mean, it just is what it is. You got to deal with how things are. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's the way that it's going. One benefit is, it's easier for an independent band like us to have a larger outreach for our music and to, hit up fans and people not only just through the country, but throughout the world. And on top of that, we get to keep a lot more of the money than they did in the old days. So there are benefits.
I've heard some of the horror stories too of recording, recording a 2-inch tape. I know you don't get that real deep warmth on an album nowadays that used to, but
sure.
From what everybody's told me from the old school guys is like, you don't know. I mean, if you're recording the tape and you screw up, you got to stop right there and cut it out and splice it back and go back again. So that puts him on like an old 8-track deal,
Yeah, the good old 8-tracks. They stop in the middle of a song.
Yeah, exactly. My dad was the world's worst for that stuff. An 8-track would screw up on him. He had to fix it right then and there. He'd go cut half of it out, splice it back together. You'd be listening to the song, and halfway through a guitar solo, to the next song it goes. Or it skips
the old school tape. There's definitely better sound to me to old school tape, but yeah, it was definitely like a performance based thing. Like you better play through the song correctly, or at least as correctly as you can live with.
Yeah.
And then that was your take.
Yeah, exactly. So in your own opinion, what does Spiral Crush bring to the table for music, Shaun, that's not out there right now?
I think what we bring is a little bit of old and a little bit of new. I mean, we're kind of like very heavily influenced by a bunch of old school rock, from classic rock to 80s rock to 90s rock, even some 2000s stuff, but with a little bit of a modern twist. There's not a lot of bands that are doing like straight up rock. And, it seems like rock in general has either moved to heavy metal or, like the fun time rock is now, I guess, what you would call country music. I mean, a lot of it that I listen to doesn't sound like rock to me. It sounds like, country. It doesn't sound like country. It sounds like rock and roll.
Exactly.
Like country flavor.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're still waving that flag of that old school kind of fun, pop sensibilities, but still rock, hard rock kind of music. Like, that's our goal. That's what we like, and that's what we do.
What made you want to become a musician? What was that spark for you that said that's what I want to do right there?
I don't know. We were just very young, myself and my brother, and we had a friend on the bus, like I said, that had a Quiet Riot tape that his dad was into heavy metal, and we were just really little kids. But we borrowed it from him and listened to it, and it just sounded kind of all at the same time like fun, but scary and cool and tough and but like energetic. And we just kind of fell in love with that, and it was like, it would be fun to do that. And I just remember thinking that it would be fun to be able to do that. And so begged my parents for a guitar and just started to learn how to play guitar. And even when I started, it wasn't because I wanted to have a band, so to speak. I just wanted to be able to play guitar and have fun doing that. But obviously it led into, let's start a band. We could do that.
Is there a country or an area locally that has surprised you of the support you guys have gotten with your music, or a show or moment that stands out more to you than any?
I guess since we've been doing a lot of this outreach through the internet and trying to do some more publicity for the album and the band and stuff, like, we've been hit up by countries in Mexico, internet radio stations like in France, some French speaking parts of Canada, somebody from South America. So that was like very cool, kind of unexpected kind of a bonus to the whole promoting thing for this album. Was like, wow, I mean, goes out on the internet and we were just hoping to gain more fans, more exposure, but I guess we didn't really think in the grand scheme of things that it would go that far, like really go around the world, like places in other countries and other continents. So it's been surprising but also very, very cool to think that somebody in another continent is listening to our music.
Yeah, that's true. It's amazing how internet can get you out there, man. So it's crazy.
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic, and without us even being, we're not national, gigantic superstars. We're just this fun-loving 3-piece band from Brighton, Michigan. So really cool.
But I like doing the interviews with the locals and independents.
Sure.
And I'm not knocking any national bands, but the locals and independents, man, they get it. They don't forget where they come from. As bad as I hate to say it,
Yeah. I think a lot of it has to do with, especially in this day and age, if you're a local band, you're an independent band, you're a new band, and obviously we would all love to get to a level where it's like, fame, I guess, where you could go around the world and play, but it's so hard and it's not really expected. So it really keeps you kind of grounded and focused on the fact that you're doing this because you love to do it. You
right.
Really, the bands that are local and new and independent, they just really do love to play and they love music.
If you could work with any musician that's passed away or alive or a band you would like to see get back together for a couple of days to work with, who would it be, if anybody?
Oh, man. I suppose I could come up with a list like a mile long. But I guess what I would have to say is I would say Eddie Van Halen, because that was definitely the first guy. Like, I fell in love with music and wanted to play guitar and play music and have a band and all that stuff. But when I heard Eddie Van Halen, and especially at such a young age, I was like, what is he doing to that instrument? How is he manipulating it like that? And I want that. That's amazing, and I want to be able to do some of that at the very least. So yeah, definitely would love to just sit down and jam with Eddie Van Halen and talk to him.
I'm going to throw this out here, and again, folks, it's just my opinion. But just like Shaun's talking about Eddie Van Halen, when I'm the same way. First time I heard Eddie was like, "Holy crap, what's he doing?" Just like you did. And then,
yeah,
think about it now. When Rage Against the Machine came out, Tom Morello, look what he did. Yeah. I mean, my God, he revolutionized another way of getting some sounds out of a guitar. He's a phenomenal,
without a doubt.
Yeah, the dude.
And the other, what I loved about Rage Against the Machine, and even when they got into Audioslave, it was like it's just so groovy and heavy, but still groovy, and it was just like, man, it's so good.
Mm-hmm. And I hate that Chris Cornell's passed away, but did Audioslave and all that stuff, because he's an Audioslave. I thought
absolutely.
I thought there was no other vocalist that, in my opinion, that fit grunge more better. Sorry, folks.
Oh, no, I mean, he was great. He was. I mean, you listen to him and you're just like, how can that guy shred his vocal cords like that all the time and still do it every day? But no. Fantastic singer. Yeah,
like when I heard Outshine the first time, my throat got dry. I was like, my throat's hurting now.
Like, yeah, from listening to it, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I was like, oh, I gotta get something to drink. I don't know if you guys get this or not, but I'll ask it anyway. What's it mean to you if you guys receive an email from a fan, or prior to the shows or after the shows? They'll tell you that they dig your music, or it's, let them get away from the everyday bullshit that we go through, or it's just gave them inspiration to overcome an obstacle. If that's ever happened, what's that mean to you guys?
Oh, it means a lot. I mean, one of our favorite things about being, kind of local independent band and playing, like when we get to play the Machine Shop, and we hang out afterwards and talk to as many people as we can. And it's awesome when people come up and say that they like the music or enjoyed the show. Or if we get emails from people or like fans that like take the album, they get back with us and just tell us how much they like it and what it means to them, or like you said, if it just helps them feel real good, or get over heartache or whatever the case may be. It's awesome. It's awesome. First of all, we do music because we love music, and after that part, it's like, yeah, you want to connect with other people. So it means a lot to us.
Electric Life is out right now, folks. This is a really good album. I like it. Love Like Murder is pretty badass.
That one's fun.
I'm going through here because I forget. I listen to so much music, man. I forget the names, and I apologize.
Not a problem.
I do. One Shot's awesome. Of course, self-titled Electric Life is really good. Never Say Die. That's really awesome, too.
Thank you.
There's really not a bad song on this album, folks. I think if you give it a fair chance and listen to it, you would be surprised how much great music is out there for locals. I'm telling you right now, there's some great stuff out there that it tops with the nationals. I'll just tell you that right now, straight up. So, Shaun, how can folks stay in touch with you guys, buy some merchandise, tour dates, whenever you guys get to do this? How can they do that?
Well, first of all, obviously come to a live show, and we'll definitely have CDs and merch there. But also, contact us through our Facebook page, Spiral Crush on Facebook. We have a Spiral Crush website, which is spiralcrush.com. All of our music is available at cdbaby.com. Just go to cdbaby.com and type in Spiral Crush, and you can find us on there as well.
Before I let you go, good sir, would you care to do a promo for the show?
Absolutely. This is Shaun Smail of Spiral Crush, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great music coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and Uber City Radio. Pick up Electric Life and support Spiral Crush whenever you can, folks. Thanks, Shaun.
Thank you for having me.